Hello everyone. I'm usually not the kind of person to make videos about what I think and share them on Facebook or YouTube, but I really do not like the direction my country is going in right now. And there are so many things that are happening that I am not happy with. I don't like the decisions that our president has made or what some of the Republicans in the House and Senate have made or have been trying to do. And I just feel like I cannot be silent about this anymore. I want to talk about it. I want to share what my thoughts are on some issues that are going on and start a discussion, start a movement, because there needs to be serious change in this country, given how so many people have voted for Trump and how he won the Electoral College. Still a bit confused about that. But anyway, for this first video, I'm going to be talking about affordable healthcare. Now, if you know or may not know, in many countries across the world, many of them have universal affordable healthcare, no problems whatsoever. But in this country, there is no universal healthcare, even though we're supposed to be the most profitable country or the most well-off compared to other second world countries. And I find affordable healthcare to be extremely important, given how everybody, no matter what class you belong in, race, religion, sex or gender identity, we all go through a medical problem, whether it be something minor like a cold or something really major and severe like cancer. Sometimes it could be a physical condition or maybe even a mental condition, and everybody goes through something, which is why it's so important to have health insurance, affordable health insurance. That way, if you're dealing with something right now or maybe something in the future, you'll have it on hand and you'll be able to afford either the therapy or the treatments that you need. And the population that is rich is basically 1%. And practically many of us, almost all of us, are either middle class / poor class, where many of us have jobs, but we have other expenses to worry about. And in the middle class, we pay higher taxes than the rich, which doesn't seem to make sense to me, because the rich, they have some extra money to throw for taxes and maybe buy a yacht or two, So we need some extra help in affording healthcare, because there are some diseases where they are fatal, and we need the medications, we need hospital care, we need doctor's visits, therapies to help keep us alive, to make us better. And all that is not cheap. Some of the medications or sometimes doctor's visits, they could cost well over maybe $1,000 or more. And many of us struggle to pay for other expenses, for mortgage, food, water, electricity, and for those of us my age, college. And the price of college has gone through the roof, as well as the cost of medical care. And even though I'm not Republican, I'm a liberal Democrat and proud of it. It seems like to me the Republicans, maybe not all, but a majority of them, have this mentality where every man for themselves and how the government should not help people pay for health care. But that is really unfair, because we need that extra help to afford what we need in order to survive. And our ex-President Obama, he created the Affordable Health Care Act, or also known as Obamacare. And I'm aware that Obamacare, it is not perfect. No bill ever is. But there's no denying that it has helped many families be able to afford it. It's not completely free, but it's definitely cost a lot less compared to how we used to pay for healthcare before President Obama proposed this. Like, for example, in my family, we pay about roughly $500 in premiums. But without being on Obamacare, we would be paying a good $1,500, and that is a lot of money. And when you throw in other expenses that my family has to deal with, it would be a very, very tight squeeze. And what Republicans have been trying to do lately, especially since Trump has been in office, is to repeal Obamacare and come up with this brand new bill called the American Healthcare Bill. Now, I did my best to be informed and do some research on this, and the Republicans, especially Mitch McConnell, they claim that it would still help families be able to afford health care, but that's not true. In fact, when you look at some of the bills that they propose, and they tweak it sometimes if they can't get enough votes, but it's essentially the same, where their version of the healthcare bill, they would cut Medicaid, which many families are on. And Medicaid helps families, about 10 million lower income Americans who depend on healthcare. And it would cut funding for Medicaid, and pre-existing conditions wouldn't be adequately protected like under Obamacare. And these days, pre-existing conditions, basically anything. Just being a woman is a pre-existing condition. So silly. And speaking of women, female healthcare would be on the line too with this new with this new American healthcare bill, where funding for Planned Parenthood would be dramatically cut. And I know there's some backlash against Planned Parenthood, but from what I understand is that it is very helpful with women who need birth control, that need protection, especially domestic violence screenings, cancer screenings, maternity care, newborn care, basically all the health issues that women go through that they really need. And Planned Parenthood is the largest network for women's health, and that is cut. There could be some drastic changes that are not good. And so these past few days, I've been watching, in fact, our whole family, we have been watching the new healthcare bill closely, and at first they voted to debate on it, and all the Democrats have voted no, and a couple of Republicans. That's pretty brave of them. So they did this debate for days, and a lot of them voted no on repealing it altogether, and no on probably amendments on some of them. But the last one was about the skinny repeal bill, which is basically strip all the good components of Obamacare that help make it affordable. And here's one thing that I've been trying to understand, is that there are so many people who depend on Obamacare, who need affordable health care because they have family members, friends who are going through medical issues where they need the treatments, they need the doctor's visits to stay alive, whether it be something physical, mental, or if you're having some kind of disability where you can't walk or you can't use a part of your body, or you're paralyzed and you need a wheelchair, you need physical therapy. And like I said, it's not cheap. I mean, how is it fair that only the rich are able to afford the best health care, and we have to fight for it, to fight to live? That's just really messed up. The way I see it is that it seems the Republicans, especially the Secret 13 Republicans, who behind closed doors they drafted a bill that they claim to help people, but it doesn't. They wanted to make it almost impossible for average people like us to afford healthcare that we need. Why should we have to fight to live? Why should we have to fight for our lives? Where so many countries have it no problem, but for us it's an issue? I mean, the Democrats are all about affordable healthcare. It's not the Democrats who proposed a bill that had a 17% approval rating where practically all Americans are opposed to it. The Democrats didn't come up with that bill. Are Republicans like Mitch McConnell, are they even aware how important Obamacare is to us, or how important having easier access to affordable healthcare is? Without some treatments, without the healthcare that we need, some people will die. But luckily today, there was good news. All the protests that constituents made in every single state in this country, it really paid off. And to those who protested, who called their senators, telling them to vote no, I applaud you. And I'm sorry you even had to fight for this right. It's a basic human right. So as for today, the skinny repeal bill did not pass, which I was so happy and relieved about. Me, my mom, and I, we took like a deep breath and we were like, we won. And of course all the Democrats voted no, but the 3 Republicans that voted no, it took a lot of courage, and I applaud them for that. One was our Senator, Susan Collins, and one was Murkowski from Alaska. And the third, I was pretty surprised. It was John McCain from Arizona. And he kept saying yes and yes and yes until it came to the final vote. Did he vote no? And as of now, I'm still a bit confused of why. Maybe he finally listened to his constituents. Maybe it was to save the face of the Republican Party. I'm not quite sure, but all in all, I'm happy that it was a happy ending, in a sense. I don't think this is completely over, but I think the Republicans are going to give this a break for at least a little while. And I can sleep easily at night, and I think many of you guys can sleep more easily at night knowing that Obamacare is still protected. It's still here. And the skinny repeal bill won't cut out the major parts of it. Now, of course, Trump, he'll probably try to cut fundings for Obamacare in other ways, but we'll still continue to fight. Thank you for listening. I plan on making more videos about other issues that are going on, and I want to change the direction my country is heading in. I want love and compassion to win, not hate and fear.